no one is ready.
Well, you better be. Also, what should I actually set the title to be? I said I'll make do because you already took the Irish Crim. Romance who? Wait. Oh my god, the editing screen must have a confirm button and it won't let me scroll down to see it.
Strange.
Alright then, YouTube, fix your fucking UI, but whatever. We're on to my character.
Your character?
Well, my character. The person who's named after me. Yeah, the one who's named after you, and then the one who's named after me now.
Oh, good. I don't have to do any voices. Granted, I wasn't doing them anyway because problems, but meh.
Yeah, just so long as you can continue to give commentary, babe.
We'll see. I'm enjoying Club Penguin.
Oh, babe.
I can't help it. I've got to earn tickets. I got to buy stuff. Because apparently none of the mini games give you coins right now because I guess they assume they all want tickets, so none of the things. So basically it's like they have all these different games that you like, mini games, like little, which is fun actually, it's kind of different. Little mini games that you can play and get tickets on, and then occasionally you'll get a golden ticket and you can use that to spin the wheel, and with the golden ticket you can get, when you spin the wheel, you can get other amount of tickets, you can get coins, you can get mystery prizes. It's rather cool. We'll see it tonight. We'll go and check it out.
Alright then. In the meantime, I will do Research 1. The professor has assigned me to work on a special subject. I wonder what he means by that.
I don't know. What does he mean by that?
I have a very important job for you today. It's quite a tricky one, but you've proven yourself to be very capable, and I'm certain you can handle it. Follow me. I have a little lady I'd like you to meet.
The professor leads me... Oh, you were turning up the volume on your tablet?
Hold on, let me see if I'm turning it up or down. I think I'm trying to... Wait. There we go. I was trying to turn it down.
Sorry. But the fact that I could hear that was strange.
Yeah, what did you expect? It
Anyway.
happens.
Yes. The professor leads me to the research lab in the forest, but instead of going in, he takes me to an area around the back. Ooh! Is this the mystery cat that was supposed to be at the end? The last dateable one?
I don't know. What do they look like?
Well, it's Ravenpaw.
Oh, yeah, that one.
I recognize the cage. I thought that was odd, but now it makes sense. This is our brave little nugget, Ravenpaw. She has to be isolated over here, don't you, Missy? The professor reaches into the cage, which is stood on a table, and picks up a tiny black cat that's sleeping inside. Aww. Dichromat. Or bichromat? I think so. Whatever the term is for two different colored eyes. Anyway, such a good girl, aren't you? We keep her here away from the others because the poor thing is very unwell. Can you see this nasty rash? Professor Popper holds out one of the cat's paws for me to inspect. It's red and swollen. Ravenpaw looks at me with her big watery eyes, one blue and one brown. They're probably watering because of the medication she's on, but it makes her look as if she's pleading with me. Could be both. She doesn't seem to be able to eat without assistance either, poor thing. We've been treating her as best as we can, but I'm not sure if she'll make it. Perhaps not even to the end of the week. Oh. The professor lets out a sad sigh. I have my fingers crossed, though. We don't get up on any of these cats. Do we, Ravenpaw? No, we don't. We're going to try and get you all better. She's such a pretty cat. Her eyes are enchanting, aren't they? She's a very pretty cat indeed. And she knows it too. You can tell. You know what a pretty thing you are, don't you? I reach out to stroke Ravenpaw, but she struggles away from my hand. Oh, she's getting cranky. I think we've kept Grumpy Pants here awake for long enough. He puts her gently back into the cage and locks it shut. Ravenpaw seems to fall asleep instantly. Hope I didn't distress her. Of course not, Guy. She's very... I've reverted into my normal voice for Professor Popper.
Of course not. She's very wary of you.
It's probably because this is a solemn situation and I can't... Popper's voice is... grates in my throat, but, you know... I was about to make a dirty joke, but you know what? I wasn't gonna. Did you have something to say?
I was saying, go ahead, you can do it.
Of course not. She's usually very wary of humans before she gets to know them. When I found the poor thing on the beach, she almost scratched my eyes out. In spite of the terribly fragile state she was in.
The professor smiles at the memory.
Such a little chipper. She was half dead at first. She's gotten a little better since then. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see her pull through this.
I do hope so, Professor.
Quite. Now, the reason I brought you here is because, regrettably, I won't be able to see you to Ravenpaw personally any longer. It's a pity, as she is so used to me now, but there's nothing for it. I've been given an extra workload recently, and I need to share out a few of my odd jobs to accommodate it. I thought you would be the ideal person to look after Ravenpaw for me.
I'm taken aback that the professor has trusted me with such responsibility. It's quite flattering, until I remember that he doesn't have much choice, me being the only assistant on the island.
Every day, she requires a change of dressing, a dose of medication, some cream rubbed onto her rashes, and a syringe full of some nutrient milk.
This can be quite distressing for her.
So I'd like someone with a nice and patient manner to take over for me. Would you be interested?
Of course, sir. I'd love to help out in any way I can. That's what I'm here for.
Oh, splendid. I am so glad. I think you and Ravenpaw will get along famously before too long. She has such a sweet nature.
I look forward to it, sir.
Could you start now?
Oh, of course.
Dip-dot. I shall be in the lab if you need me for anything. Please don't be afraid to give me a shout. I'm terribly sorry to burden you with this so suddenly, but I have such a lot of work to do right now.
Okay, Professor. I feel a lot apprehensive as I watch Professor Popper retreat into the lab. I didn't realize I'd be expected to do everything right now without training or anything. I remind myself that this isn't like an ordinary lab back home. I must try to adapt to the higgledy-piggledy of it all. I take a deep breath. Change your dressing. I can do that. Hello, pretty kitty. I'm very sorry, but I have to disturb you. The small cat lets out a small mew as I lift her out of the cage. Oh, I know, life is unfair. Now, where are your dressings? I put Ravenpaw next to the cage on the table. She lays down compliantly. She obviously knows routine. She has a large bandage on the side of her ribs. I begin to gently remove it, trying hard not to pull on her skin too much. Well, I suppose we're going to be doing this every day. We might as well get to know each other. So, hello, my name is Guy, and I'm quite new here. I know your name already, Ravenpaw. Nice name. I bet the professor named you. He certainly knows how to pick them, doesn't he? The cat tenses as I remove the last of the plaster and reveal a scar on a patch of bare skin where the professor has shaved her for surgery. Oh dear, that scar looks very tender. I should clean it, is that right, Ravenpaw? Let me look. There's some drawers under the table, and I quickly find some antiseptic gel and cotton pads. Now, Ravenpaw, I'm going to level with you. This is going to sting a bit, but please don't take it out on me. I'm doing this for your own good, okay? Trust me, you don't want this scar to be infected. That would be disastrous. The cat stays perfectly still while I wipe at her scar. She doesn't even make a sound. I have to say I'm impressed. And a little disquieted. Well, you are a brave girl, aren't you? Well done. Probably well used to this. When I was a kid, I cut my arm on some thorns and had to have antiseptic put all over that too. If I recall, I scrubbed the house down. I carefully put on the clean bandage, trying not to stick it. I suppose the medication comes next, doesn't it? What do we have here? Find a box of pre-filled syringes called catatonic. Oh, I presumed you'd be taking tablets, but of course the professor said you had trouble with solids, don't you? Poor thing. Okay, same thing as last time. Don't shoot the injector. Out the skin on the back of Ravenpaw's neck tight and get to inject it quickly to get it over with, but the syringe is stiff and it takes a lot longer than I expected. Again, the little cat makes no response. Doesn't move a muscle, almost as if she didn't feel it. Good girl. Gosh, you were so tough. You know, I bet you and McMurphy would get on like a house on fire. Ravenpaw's ears perk up as if she's heard a rattlesnake. McMurphy is one of the coolest people. I mean, I was a little wary at first, but he has that Irish charm that's so hard to resist. The tiny cat's head spins to look up at me.
How do you know he's Irish?
My heart lurches into my throat.
Have you got it?
You have, haven't you? You're sick. You got the sickness. I have a million questions running through my head, but I am unable to speak.
Listen to me, human. You must help me.
I suddenly jolt to my senses. I'm trying to help you, Ravenpaw.
Please don't use the cream on me. It burns. It is giving me these red patches.
I know it hurts, but I have to rub it into your wounds. Those red patches will get dry and itchy and infected otherwise.
No, please. I beg you, human, that stuff doesn't help. It hurts.
I know it feels that way, but it's helping you, I promise. The professor has been caring you so thoroughly since he found you. I get the sack of your treatment went downhill now. That man has only ever hurt me. I'm taken aback. The professor cares for you very much and only wants you to get better. The cat turns her face away as if she's given up hope. It pulls at my heartstrings, and I pause for a moment. This is a choice. With my meta-knowledge of what the fuck that cream is, well, not what it is. It's actually really weird. Doesn't it contain, like, traces of cat pee or something like that? It contains a lot of bad stuff.
Give it.
What?
We don't want to give. Throw it away. Don't give it.
Stop the treatment. Okay, I'm taking a big leap here. I'm going to give you 5 days without this cream and see if any deterioration... And if I see any deterioration in your condition, it's back to a strict regime for you, Missy, and no complaints. Deal?
Thank you, human.
Achievement unlocked. Secret desires. Yes! New unlocks. Research 3.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
No, that was terrible. Please don't ever do that again.
Okay, now the romance options. Should we go with Trixie or Fluffy Butt?
Do you want a lady or a man?
Usually I go for a man, but the thing is, neither of the men left I really like.
Do you want a free spirit girl? Or do you want an older, very older, wise man?
I'm not the daddy type, but...
I'm surprised you wouldn't go... Well, you don't have a choice, so you can't go for him, but I'm surprised you wouldn't want to go for the other guy. He's basically you. He's human form. He's nerdy. He's young. He's you, but blonde.
Maybe that's why I don't want to go with him, babe. I don't need an identical copy of me.
See, I would love that. I mean, I love you, but
maybe that's why you would love him.
Oh no, he's not me. He's you, definitely.
No, that's why I was saying that's why you would love him.
No, whatever.
Oh. Or you would... Never mind. We'll make everyone gay. I'll go with Floofy Butt. Those red eyes. I'm not sure what to expect. I've come to the forest with Floofy Butt for what I assumed would be a pleasant way to spend my afternoon off work. But I have now discovered that he's billing it as an informative afternoon of instruction and practical participation. That sounds suspiciously like a lecture to me. Well, as Professor Popper would say, a scientist must keep an open mind. This is something I would normally do alone, but you strike me as a like-minded soul, interested in both gastronomic and anatomic pleasures. Next, squeeze me. Perhaps now would be a good time to lay down the blanket I asked you to bring. We don't want to put that tender skin of yours under duress. I wonder where he's going with this. Relax, guy. This doesn't take very long. Suddenly, without warning, there's a loud plop as a bird plummets out of the sky onto the blanket. Told you so. Oh my, it's dead. As a doornail. But what happened to it? Just the force field, of course. Now enough foolish questions, guy. Let's get started, shall we? Just like the lecturers from my uni. What exactly are we doing here, Floofy Butt? I told you, don't use that ridiculous name. I prefer Major, if you please. Then what exactly are we doing here, Major? This is my little surprise. I'm a bird fancier. Oh, and you fancy your birds dead? Quite. All the better to practice my other pursuit. I know I'm going to regret this, but what pursuit would that be, Major? I'm a self-taught pathologist. Okay? You mean as in post-mortem? Somewhat rudimentary, don't you know? But I can now find my way around the innards of the average seagull with remarkable dexterity. Okay?
Don't hamper on his interests. If he wants to be a self-taught paleontologist, then let him.
Yes, well, whatever floats your boat. I'm interested in crossword puzzles myself. Not everyone's cup of tea, but it occupies a wet afternoon. Okay, back to the task at hand, guy. I shall now begin the autopsy. Keep your wits about you. There will be questions at the end. Definitely like a lecture at uni. Aha, I knew this was a lecture. At the very least, this isn't some random professor that's been murdered. That's a reference to a Miss Fisher episode.
Oh, God.
We could use Dr. Mac Cat, honestly. She would be so helpful. And so entertaining. Floofy Butt pings out a razor-sharp claw and begins going to town on the bird.
I love when they go to town on the birds.
Incision from sternum to base. On first examination, the skeleton appears to be typical. I note there is no break in the neck, indicating that the force field, rather than the fall, killed the bird. I feel rather queasy. Oh, really? Yes, point of interest. Sometimes the initial zap the bird receives from flying into the force field merely stuns them, and it is the impact of the fall which provides the fatal blow. So it fluctuates. This chap, however, appears to have suffered cardiac arrest instead. You can see from the size, or lack thereof, of the heart that even a major jolt could be enough to induce seizure.
Caesar.
Having removed the tiny organ, Major has now begun digging around inside the carcass as though rummaging in a lucky dip. Now removing entrails for further examination. Oh, get a better look, guy. It's rather revealing. I can see something in the stomach sac. Stomach sac? It looks like... Oh my. It's gold. Our lucky day, guy. Here, have a look. It's some kind of nugget. No, thank you, Major. I'm not in the mood for playing around with the contents of a seagull's stomach. Excuse me. Don't be ridiculous. This is not a game, guy. May I remind you that we are in the middle of a very serious post-mortem, and I expect you, as my assistant, to maintain professionalism. My stomach is doing flips as I hold the object between thumb and forefinger. What is this thing? It's so small. It kind of looks like a... Cripes! It's a tooth! Major, it's a gold tooth! Ah, good find, you're natural. I can't help but wonder why a seagull would have a gold tooth in its stomach. Presumably, Major, this is from the mouth of a human. I think you're probably right. I love how the little kawaii face of Major always has black eyes instead of red. But, you know, it's probably so that he doesn't look demonic.
He is demonic, but, you know.
I mean, he does strike me as a tiefling. So how did it get in the seagull? What an inquiring mind. You would make an excellent apprentice. If you like, I could pass on to you the skills I have acquired. That would be a feather in your cap, eh? I resign myself to the fact that he's not going to be drawn into speculation. Okay, well, he'll bear that in mind, Major. I don't have the heart to tell him I came top of my class at veterinary surgery. And now, Victor, the spoils. Don't be shy, I've already carved. Oh gosh, do you mean? Of course, tuck in. We can't stand on ceremony here, it's a good one too, plenty of fat.
Yummy.
Do I really want to eat raw seagull carved up by a cat on the forest floor?
Only if you want him to fall in love with you.
Oh, damn it. I suppose it would be frightfully rude to refuse now, seeing as he's gone to all the trouble of carving? Oh, silly me. I already had lunch before we came up, but it looks so delicious that I simply must try a tiny bit, a morsel.
Yum, 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 yum.
Very well, guys, then I shall leave you the tastiest part of all, the liver. The cat deftly tears an organ out of the carcass and presents it to me with a flat paw. Very fatty. Oh, wow, that's too much, Major. I mean, too generous, as tempted as I am, I simply couldn't. Nonsense, Guy, I insist. I would feel a very poor host indeed if my guest refused my hospitality. Okay, Guy, you can do this. Think of it as liver and onions the way Mum makes it. Hey, Breed, don't think about it, just take it and swallow it whole like an iron pill. I'm really going to enjoy this seagull liver. I snatch it out of the cat's paw and it's in my mouth before my brain can catch up. Oh no, it's in my throat. It's lodged in my throat. I can't swallow it. How do I? Crikey, that was a close call. I catch the organ in my clenched fist and simultaneously give Floopy Butt the thumbs up. Exquisite. My compliments to the cat. Quite so. Good God. Next time, make sure you have an empty stomach, unlike this chap, eh? Floopy Butt holds up the gold tooth and laughs. I try to force a laugh, but I'm suddenly overwhelmed with nausea. I've had a truly lovely time, Major, but I'm afraid I must go now. So soon? Sadly so, work calls. Well, I suppose this can't be helped, but let's do this again soon, eh? Yes, of course, soon. I can hardly wait. As I run home, feeling the slimy, sticky mess clinging to my hand, I curse myself for not bringing my antiseptic gel. Next time I will be prepared. Oh my god. Now I must rest.
Delicious.
You had a lovely nap and wake up feeling revitalized. Your energy has been restored. Magic! Call it magic, magic, magic. Wait, no. How does the Coldplay song go? Never mind. Anyway, Recon! Recon 11. Probing the workers. Oh my! I'm kidding. There's been a shipment of supplies delivered and I have to help to get it all unloaded. Maybe I can get some info while I'm there. Alrighty. I've been asked to help with the loading and unloading of supplies today. This suits me because I've been itching for the chance to talk to the ferryman and his son. I'm curious to see if they have any useful bits of info that might help me in my quest to find out the real story of this island. The boat only comes once a week and every other weekend. The weekend deliveries are all the good things. Food, mail, treats, etc., and the mood is always lighthearted. These midweek trips, on the other hand, are strictly work-related and tend to be very early morning when we're all a bit grumpy, or late at night when we're overtired. Today it's so early that the light has only just broken. Zane and I are waiting down on the jetty. They're late. They're late. Really? It's only 5 minutes. Bob's never late. Must be quite a long trip, though, to the mainland? You'd expect at least 5, maybe 10 minutes either way. Bob is never late. Come on. Oh. Accidentally clicked on OBS. Also, I need to plug in my laptop really fast. BRB!
This stream is sponsored by nothing. Somebody sponsor us, please.
Of course, it never fails. I always have to plug in my fucking laptop. Anyways, I remember that Zane isn't one for chit-chat, so I keep quiet and wait. Thankfully, it isn't long. I can hear the sound of the boat's engine before I can see it since the morning mist hasn't been burned off by the sun yet. Zane straightens up, and suddenly they're here, emerging from the mist like a ghost ship. It's been so long that it only takes a minute. They've been doing this so long that it only takes some minutes to dock and tie off before we're stepping aboard. Right. Another man of few words. I nod to Bob's son Joe, and he nods back. Guess we're the same age, but he's huge. Problems? Few extra crates. Hell, just have 5 minutes. Okay, me and Bob will do the shifting, you two do the stacking. Until we come back for the outgoing, you stay aboard and sort out the incoming. Got that, Brainy? He's looking at me. Brainy? I'm totally excited that Zane has given me a nickname, but a little crushed that that nickname is Brainy. Sure, you bring him, we fling him. I see that I'm the only one grinning like a fool. Joe knows what to do. You do as you're told. Okay, then. They're gone before I can say anything else. Joe's already started loading up the dolly with incoming crates. He's clearly an old hand at this. Look how you've been doing this your whole life. Family business? Move those crates there. They need to go off next. He sidestepped my question, but I'm not sure if it's deliberate, so I try a different tack. You don't go to college then, Joe? Nope. I'm not getting anywhere with this, so I changed to something less personal. Zane said you're never late, which is pretty impressive, considering how far you have to come. This is like pulling teeth. How far is it exactly? Quite far. Oh, really? And do you stop anywhere else en route, or are we your only drop-off? And suddenly, Joe has stopped what he's doing and is standing toe-to-toe with me, locked onto my eyes so that I can't look away. You have a lot of questions in you. My suggestion would be to keep him there on the inside. Don't do no good poking your nose into other people's business. I'm shocked by his bluntness. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. Just making small talk. You live with all them cats. Learn from them. My heart beats faster. I think he's going to tell me something. What? All cats know. Curiosity kills them. He starts to laugh out loud, and I just stand with my mouth open, not sure how to respond at this fucking drop of shade. What's the matter, cat got your tongue? And he laughs even harder, and I'm feeling creeped out, and I'm suddenly relieved to hear the two older men returning. Oh my god. That was a 360 for 1 minute. Everything all right here. Yeah, the crates to be loaded onto the boat. What's up with you, Brady? You look a bit wobbly. Not got your sea legs yet. You're playing cat and mouse, Dad. Bob turns shyly on his son and shuts him up with a look. You don't want to mind him. He don't mean no harm. Best take what he says with a pinch of salt. I see a look pass between him and Zane and get the feeling there's a lot more going on here than I understand. Oh, lovely. The intrigue in this game. There's so much intrigue for a cat dating simulator. Okay. You need to go back now. You need to get back now, Brady. We can take it from here. I want us to say, be given another chance, but all three men are looking at me, and I just turn and slink away.
It's not just a cat dating simulator, it's so much more.
Yes. It's about getting the perfect date. Yeah, that was terrible. All right.
Yes, yeah, I didn't need to comment on that.
Poor Trixie. She hasn't had anyone to date.
She'll get her chance. Floofy Butt had to wait. Trixie will have to wait.
Yeah. Do hold your head still, Guy. I can hardly see a thing with you shaking like that. I hold the binocular stable in front of Floopy Butt's tiny cat face. He looks ridiculous.
It's like you're not even trying, Guy. You're shaking like a leaf.
My hands are totally steady, Major. Ever consider it could just be your eyesight? I'll have you know I have the keen eyes of a goat. Goats aren't exactly known for their vision, Major. That's just because the world is full of ignorami. Well, what can you see? I only see a couple of mulers, lazing about, of course, scratching at their fleas. Filthy things, I tell you. Aha! What? One of the bigger ones is emptying its bladder. That could mean they do eat and drink on a regular schedule. And if we were able to find out where their water supply is, we could lace it with a mild sedative and bring the incapacitated sample to the beach. And please don't finish that sentence. No carts will be harmed during this mission. Oh, please. The subject will not be harmed, just slightly bewildered for a day or two. But why, Major? Well, to examine it for a start. Also, I'd like to see how they react when one of theirs goes missing for a change. Major, I only agreed to help you with this on the promise that you will not attempt to exact any kind of retribution on the elders. Examination is one thing, but if you can't keep your end of the deal, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to withdraw. Okay, I'll just observe. I replace the binoculars in front of Floopy Butt's keen goat eyes. Oh, well, what do we have here? Found something? I do believe I have. There's a few elders here who seem to be meditating. Meditating? Are you sure they're not just sleeping? Take a look with you. Tell me they aren't meditating. I adjust the binoculars to suit my eyes, and am well taken aback by what I see. Floopy Butt is right. The cats aren't sleeping. They are sitting in a circle around what is by far one of the stranger landmarks on the island. A large statue of Bastet. Professor Popper has always dodged my questions about what on earth a statue of the Egyptian cat goddess of war is doing on this island. I'm even more intrigued now. The cats seem to be listening, contemplating, or even meditating. Well, Major, I'm sure there's a perfectly good explanation for their behavior. Cats often behave quite strangely, I've found. Well, there's strange, and then there's strange. And my experience teaches me that the type of strangeness that this class are afflicted with is beyond acceptable. I believe that the only way to protect us all is total dissociation. Major, do you hear yourself? We're here, practically trespassing on their territory so that you can spy on them while they're doing whatever it is they're doing, and you want disassociation from them? One must know one's enemy, Guy. How are they your enemy, Major? They've never done anything to you. Oh no. Those mulers are wholly responsible for the problems on this cursed island. It's about time they were held accountable. They're the carriers of the cat virus. If it weren't for them, you wouldn't be afflicted with the illness. Oh, is that so? Because I distinctly remember it was you lot who deliberately put me in danger in the first place. The elders are cats, just cats. Just cats, eh? Oh, I see. I realize what I've just said, and although I didn't intend it the way the Major has taken it, I can see how wounded he is. I feel conflicted. On one hand, I want to take a stand against his bigotry. It is not helping our progress, and I believe it may end up ruining our friendship. On the other hand, I know he has a good heart. As Trixie says, he's just stuck in his ways, and it would be wrong of me to start pushing my views onto him. Perhaps I can lead by example and practice a little more tolerance myself.
What are our choices? I forget.
Stand up for what I believe in, or be diplomatic and be quiet.
I'm gonna have to look up that because I don't need you making the wrong decision.
I know.
Let's see.
I just realized that I have dried bits of frosting around my mouth. I just made homemade cinnamon rolls. They were good. I cut them very large this time, I made them with a little extra flour by mistake, but you know what? It was, it worked out just fine.
What about flour? What?
Instead of using a quarter measuring cup, I used a third, and
For
it requires 3/4 of a cup of flour during one of the steps of preparation, before you
what?
roll it out.
What are we preparing here?
Cinnamon rolls.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what the hell you're talking about.
Oh, at first the first thing I said was, I made cinnamon rolls earlier today.
I didn't hear that. Anyway, you chose tuck in for the first one, right?
Yes.
Okay, what's the second? What are the two choices?
Stand up for what I believe in and be diplomatic and be quiet.
Stand up.
Stand up, rise up. You know exactly what I mean, Major. Don't add me to your list of enemies. Not my enemy, guy. I'm just very disappointed to find out that you aren't as gullible as the others. That you are as gullible as the others, believing those creatures to be harmless, that we ought to embrace them with open arms. Those creatures. Major, please. You must stop this ridiculous thinking, or I may have to disassociate myself from you. Oh, really? I do not understand how such a seemingly intelligent human being can be so narrow-minded. I could say the same about you, Major. Me, narrow-minded? I've never heard anything more ludicrous. I have a voracious appetite for knowledge. For the things that interest you. Well, yes, but isn't that the case for all of us? As a scientist, I need to explore beyond what I want to know, beyond what suits my sensibilities. Well, here I am, Guy, exploring what I don't like one bit. He has a smug look on his face that is very annoying. Have you ever tried communicating with the elders? Fluffybet scoffs loudly. Those muleys do not share our language, Guy. How exactly do you expect me to communicate with them? The very notion is laughable. Oh, is it? Here I am, Major, a human, having a two-way, somewhat intelligent discussion with a cat. Is that not laughable, too? Fluffybutt goes uncharacteristically quiet. I sense I've hit a nerve, and decide to retreat. Perhaps we're going to have to agree to disagree on this one, Major, or we'll fall out entirely. Quite. Thank you for joining me today, Guy, but I can manage from here. Your assistance is no longer required. Okay, Major. I'll just put your binoculars here then, shall I? As you wish. I place them on a little patch of grass and step away. Floofybutt eyes them, and I watch his expression change as the dilemma dawns on him. He decides not to attempt the using them while I'm watching. I'll leave you to it then. Yes, thank you, but I'm fine now. I shall be doing other reconnaissance, and I'm better off alone. I feel bad for him, and don't want us to part on an argument. I'm on feeding duty today. I'll keep something back for you. Come and find me later when you feel hungry. Thank you, Guy. Good afternoon. He's clearly going to take a while to get over this, and I don't want to make things worse, so without saying another word, Tappy and I part ways. As I make my way back to camp, I go over what happened between us, wondering if I could have handled Major better. Although I may have hurt his feelings, I feel satisfied that tough love was the right way to go. There's no way our friendship could progress without honesty and respect. I have every faith in him. That way he'll come by, and that he'll come by later when his stomach's rumbling. Ugh. Words. I can't English.
No, you can't.
What should I do today?
I don't know. What should you do today?
Weird science. Ooh. Feeding duty. Speaking of feeding duty, I've been warned that despite their small size, these kittens eat like horses. I'm sure I can handle it, though. It's too early. The world isn't meant to be seen before 7 o'clock. I agree. These early mornings are still a shock to me, but I'm hitting my stride quicker. I like to get the kittens fed and cleaned out before my breakfast. It's easier to do before the rest of the camp is awake, as there are less distractions. I prepare the mush, and my stomach turns at the milky smell so early in the day. I get the swab tray ready and grab a handful of kitty treats. Hello, babies. I peer into the cage of one of the sleeping kittens. So cute. They're just waking up and ready for breakfast. I do a quick head count. 12. Good. No one tunneled out in the night. Come on, then. Let's get you swabbed and fed. Nom nom. I guard the first sleepy kitten. No more than a ball of fluff. Oh. Oh, it's Trixie! Oh, Trixie, you're up early. Going to bed late, actually. I keep swabbing, and in no time I've got all 12 little cats into the feeding cage and have begun cleaning out the sleeping area. Aw, cute! How long will it stay here for? I'm not sure. Generally, they're kept here for about 10 weeks, and then some are released back into the wild immediately, but some are moved to be examined further. I'm still getting the hang of how it all works around here. It's a shame that they aren't all released, isn't it? Yes, I suppose so, but they'll be released eventually. It's just some later than others. You think so? Well, yes, unless they're very poorly, like Ravenpaw. Trixie winces at the mention of the black cat's name. Very few of those kittens actually get released into the wild, Guy. What do you mean? Of course they do, as long as they're healthy. Oh, wow. And you know this, do you? You release them yourself? Well, no, but Hopper told me that the kittens get discharged at between 10 to 12 weeks. Oh, I see. Trixie smiles, but it looks fake. If I were you, I'd tag one of this litter. Oh no, they're too young for tagging. You have to wait until they're at least 12 weeks. That one over there, he looks very healthy. I'm sure if you tagged him, you'd be able to see for yourself what happens to the healthy kittens. As I go to answer, I hear the breakfast bell in the distance. Oh, Cinderella has to fly! And the calico cat is gone as quickly as she appeared. Come on then, kitties. Let's get you back into your nice clean cage. I can't help but think about what Trixie has said. She seemed genuinely concerned, and there might be some basis for that. After all, she has been here a lot longer than me. Maybe tagging one of these kittens wouldn't be such a bad idea. What would be the harm? Tag or don't tag, babe? I'm gonna assume tag.
I think that's what I did, but I don't.
Tag time.
I
Come on then, back to. But before I even finish my sentence, my hand has grabbed the shipping pen and I've tagged the plump gray male. Probably silly, but it won't harm you. And it could teach me something useful. Achievement unlocked. Tag. Research 7. Yes. Reminds me of that one Vine, I think it is. That is just yas from The Lion King. Yas. 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 Trixie and Kibbles have brought me to the ridge where the pools of colored water collect. We call them the rainbow pools. It's a beautiful day and there's a vivid rainbow across the sky. Kibbles is over the other side from me shouting.
Wow, look at this. Come over here.
He sounds farther away than he is. My hearing isn't quite right, but I don't mind. What is it?
You need to see it.
Suddenly I'm beside him. He's looking over the edge of the cliffs, and when I look down, the sea is further away than I expect. Such a long way down. Do you see? And I feel a push from behind. As I begin to fall, I hear Trixie laugh. Curiosity did what? I'm not falling at all. I'm floating, light as a feather. Fly, little bird. Fly away home. It's the best feeling ever. I'm going higher now, up towards the rainbow. I'm going to touch it. Mind you don't get scorched by the sun. I feel myself being shaken. Pull me. You really ought to go in now. It's too hot out here to sleep. I'm on the patch of scrub grass beside my tent. I was just having a moment of shut-eye in the sun, but I must have fallen asleep. Oh, thank you, Trixie. I smile at the calico cat as I surreptitiously scratch at the prickly heat at my legs. Hi, Claire.
Hi, Claire.
How are you? Anyway, Icarus flew too close to the sun. I.e., he got sunburned. Alright, research. Oh, no, I have more to do. That's right. We don't have any unlocked recon, so we probably will unlock it with romance. That's a strange thing to say. All right, Major. Major Floof. We've been walking for ages, Major. I don't have much longer before they'll expect me back. Almost there. It needs to be as close to the danger zone as possible to deter snoopers. In the danger zone, in the danger zone. I don't know. Sounds like it's a song. Few cats and even fewer humans come this far out, which ensures that my deposits are safe. Deposits? This is an act of trust, you understand. I believe that our recent disagreement and resulting reconciliation has made our bond of camaraderie stronger than ever, and I would like to solidify our union with the sharing of something quite private and important to me. I feel slightly awkward and mumble incoherently in response. Yes, well, what's past is past, water under the bridge and all that. I'm delighted, though, that you have reviewed and modified some of your stronger opinions, Major. Updated your map, so to speak. Indeed. Though, for the record, I'm still uneasy about the elders, but I grant that finding a way to speak with them might provide more insight than I had assumed. Well, we really are on the same page now, Major. We come to a halt. I can smell the pungent smell of the elder cats. I've not been this close to them since that first night, and it makes me uncomfortable. But I feel surprisingly reassured to be with Floopy Butt. Oh, come on. This is it. You must be completely silent now, so you will have to cease that unattractive sound you're making. I'm out of breath, Major. I can't help it. What I'm about to show you has taken a long time and a lot of effort on my part. If anyone else should get wind of its whereabouts or even its existence. Yes, okay, Major, I get it. I swear the most prestigious of pinky promises that I will not utter a word to anyone about whatever I see today. Floopy Butt seems satisfied and makes an effort to straighten himself out before motioning towards a large tree. Ahem. This, my dear, is my treasure. Oh my goodness. What a handsome tree you have there, Major. Very tall and proud looking. Congratulations. Oh, for goodness sake, come over here. Floopy Butt leads me around the enormous tree to its hidden side, which has a large hollow in it that looks like it leads to a tunnel. Good God, man, are you digging an escape route out of here? What on earth are you twittering about? Use your eyes more and your mouth less, my dear. I notice then that hidden in the dark recesses of the tree is the outline of a large object which my eyes won't allow me to see clearly. What is it, Major? Don't be shy, guy. Get in there and have a proper look. I have no choice but to crawl into the cavity for closer inspection. I run my fingers over the item and deduce that it is made out of old splintering wood and has cold metal adornments on either side. I use them to drag it out of the tree, and in half light, I'm somewhat unsurprised to see that it is an old-fashioned treasure chest. I would expect nothing less from the Major. Is this from the shipwreck? Floopy Butt is looking at me expectantly. Well, open it, my dear. You don't need to worry about the lock. It's quite broken. I do as instructed. Oh my giddy aunt, Major, how on earth? Ooh. I'm guessing it is from the pirate ship. The chest is full to the brim with all sorts of shiny things. Shiny jewelry, gems, coins, trinkets, ornaments, baubles, and all manner of curios. What sort of curios would it be in a chest from your life, babe?
Huh?
What sort of curios would be in a chest that contained all the items in your life, babe?
Oh, that's a tough question. I don't know. Yeah, no, I honestly have no clue because I don't know what, like, treasures I would consider What would you have? See, it's a tough question, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had that bear from you.
Oh.
It says Love Atlanta. It's golden.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized Claire said while I'm at the hospital. Oh, Claire.
Claire, what's wrong?
If you're willing to say, but Hope you get better
Yeah.
soon. Or family
Yeah.
member. Anyways. I mean, I also have that glove that you said you wanted some copy of, the drawing tablet glove.
Looks cool.
Yeah, I agree. My sister thought it looked really weird when she first saw it.
She's your sister.
That's fair. She also is not a fashion icon.
That's right. Fashion.
She may work at American Eagle, but you know.
Fashion zero, more like it.
Anyways, Floofy Butt lets out a low laugh. Allow me to regale you, human, with my vast adventures and conquests. I settle down and allow the Major's voice to wash over me as I play with some of the items of frippery. Wow, that's a new word for me, frippery, in the chest. Ah, that coin you're holding. There's a very interesting story attached to that. Oh. Just a little suicide, not important. I survived, it doesn't matter anymore. Oh. Oh, that sounds like an anxiety reel. Like, oh, nothing, it's just a little nothing you have to worry about. I'm making light of the situation.
Oh, we love you.
We do.
Yeah.
I will say, we love all our viewers to be around. We love Claire to be around. What?
And Salty and everybody that wants to be around. Hey, I haven't seen. I just realized that. Where's Chesty been?
I don't know. I feel like it's been even longer since we've seen Salty as well.
Yeah. But Chesty.
Babe, your sound quality has gone down like so much, and you've become like. What happened?
Hello.
I can hear you. It's just like your sound quality is really shit.
I don't know what happened.
Okay. Weird. But still, we do love to have you around, Claire. Oh, it's nice to not be alone.
Even if my...
I have too many lonely streams.
I know... Well, we are lonely, but we have each other, and we have all our viewers that we do very much appreciate. Not just for viewer content, but we like having people to talk to. It makes the interactive experience much more friendly and flavorful. We don't want to be like some normal streamer that's like, oh, there's some people, okay, yeah, hi, I'm not going to talk to you. We like talking to people and having that sort of interactive experience, and you're a big part of that, Claire. You're very nice, and we like when we get to talk to you.
Yeah. Yes. Anyway, there's a very interesting story attached to the coin. Do you know how old it is, Guy? I do believe the date on it should still be legible. I remember the night I found it. I'd gone for a walk along the beach. It was blustery and dark. I feel for the first time how exhausted I am. The walk has sapped me of all my energy. And as I fought with the elements, I look ahead and notice the sky is much darker. I am laying down, although I don't remember doing so. Valiant and victorious, the thunderous applause. I hear a low rumbling sound. Thunder, and a flashing behind my now closed eyes. Surely it's a storm, but there's no rain. That's odd. No wet, just warm and dry and hard to breathe. And I bellow defiantly, you cannot have them! But the Muellers were already encircling. And I slowly get up. I should really get up now. Oh, it seems my eyes won't open. It's a pretty. As I bit into the still beating heart. I do believe I'm paralyzed. That is a shame. I tried to move my fingers. Nope, they're not listening to me. What? Yep, you guessed. I did say it like that. Oh, I was writing it. Wake up! We have to get out of here. Out of here this instant. Up you get. That's it. Come on. As I come to, the world looks dark and distorted. I must be walking because trees are passing my line of vision. My hands hurt. I look down at them as if they are pressed firmly to the earth, one moving in front of the other. I must be crawling? I don't know how much time has passed, but I wake up on the sand. I inspect my blistering hands, and Floofy Butt is sitting next to me, facing the sea. Did I dream all that? Oh, you're
Probably.
awake. No, I'm afraid you weren't dreaming. What happened? It was my fault. I took you too close to the danger zone, and into your current state you couldn't handle it. In my current state? Yup. Your feline transition is still in its early stages. It seems to be progressing particularly slowly in you. I'm still very vulnerable, so I'm still very vulnerable to the effects of the Elder Territory. Quite. I was foolish. I didn't think. I was too interested in myself, my stories, my treasure to protect it properly. Please forgive me. You put me in danger, or it's fine.
You put me in danger.
That one for real?
We gotta tell this motherfucker off.
Okay.
He's gotta learn. It's not
So-
oh yeah, sure, you almost killed me, it's fine.
Yeah, true.
No.
He's the tough love one. Except we have to be the one who has the tough love on him. You know what? That's a nice change of pace for dating sims. So even though you knew I was at risk, you still brought me to the danger zone. I'm ashamed to say that's true. But why? I thought we were friends. Indeed we are, Guy. In fact, therein lies the answer. I value your friendship highly, and I wanted to impress you. So you thought you'd do that by having me poleaxed? Interesting. I fear I've been rather foolish. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'll leave. He turns to go so quickly that I almost have to shout after him. Hang on a minute, you don't get away that easily. The forlorn-looking cat slinks back towards me. For future reference, I'm not so superficial as to be impressed by a few stories, engaging though they were. Floofy Butt's ears perk up a little. What impressed me about you is how much you've been willing to change your old ideas, how much effort you've made to challenge some of your opinions. We have covered a lot of ground, you and I, and you have my utmost respect. By now, the Major has completely regained his composure and is obviously gagging to chip in, so I let him speak. Do you really think so? Yes, you're becoming a very open-minded cat. Actually, I meant about my stories. Huh? I believe engaging was the word you used. He looks so pleased with himself that I decided to let him have this one. Engaging is the word I meant. In fact, I'm going to lay down here in the sand for a moment and rest while you retell your stories to take my mind off my throbbing headache. Well, if you think it would help, far be it for me to deny my friends some comfort in their time of need. Settle down, Guy. I shall begin. I curl up into a ball on the warm sand while Floofy Butt's voice washes over me, and I drift off to sleep and dream I'm a cat. Romance. Oh, 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 I got in a bad romance. Anyways. I rushed out to the forest on Floofy Butt's insistence that I meet him at the location of his treasure chest. After the incident, we called on McMurphy and Cabables to help us drag it to a new spot, further away from the Elder Territory. Those two are so helpful. Major, are you okay? I was in the middle of preparing lunch when I received your urgent summons. Quite. I was pawing through my collection just now and couldn't help but reflect upon some of our adventures. Oh, so you dragged me all the way from the kitchen to reminisce? Indeed! I've grown rather fond of our expeditions together. I do seem to find more antique articles when you accompany me. You've trained me well, Major. Any advancement I've made in the treasure hunting field is entirely thanks to you. And maybe the fact that I'm about 5 foot taller than you. Would you like me to send me view my progress at the art? Ooh,
Yes.
that would be nice, Claire. Has been a little while.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, no. You have a natural ability. Rather impressive. Oh, you flatter me, Major. Not at all. I'm a fair cat. And it is my belief that good work deserves just reward. Reward? Indeed. And I so felt it would only be right to let you keep an item from my inventory, so that you may start a collection of your own. That's too kind of you, Major. I'm touched. Yes, well, let's have a look, shall we? You may choose whatever you like, my dear. Absolutely anything. I peer into Floofybutt's treasure chest. All the gems and all bits of precious metal sparkle and glint in the sunlight. I gently move some of the more bijou trinkets out of the way and dig deep for the good stuff. Wow. I grasp a red gem almost the size of my fist. I wonder if it's a ruby, but before I begin to examine it, Floofybutt has wiped that from his paw. No idea what that is doing in there. I can see how this is going to go. Anything else, Guy? Whatever you like. How about this? I untangle a string of pearl, creamy and iridescent, clearly very good quality, even to my untrained eye. Floofybutt looks uncomfortable. Yes, they are rather special, aren't they? I do have a particular fondness for them. I let him off the hook as my eye catches sight of something dull and cheap-looking. Major, what on earth is this? The filthy bottle sticks out like a sore thumb amongst the shiny baubles Floofy usually likes to collect. But I must say, after my little incident, the art may be a little bad. Aww.
I'm sure it'll be fine, Claire. Don't worry.
Yes. All that. Heavens, I forgot all about that thing. It might suit you. If you shake it, you will hear something rattling about in there. I do believe it contains a note or a script of some kind. He's selling it to me. Silly, really. I did get it into my head to find a way to open that bottle, but the cork is wedged in tight. I just has to start my collection, Major. Really, that old thing? I can tell he's absolutely delighted. Yes. And I have an idea how to open it. Go on. You have my attention. I whip off my apron and loosely wrap it around the bottle, then smash it unceremoniously against the side of a tree. Good gracious, Guy, how lively of you! I have a feeling the real treasure is this. I carefully pick the parchment from amongst the shards of glass and cast a cursory eye over the faded scribbles. A genuine message in a bottle. I could fill in so many blanks about the history of this place. A piece of paper? Oh, Major, this is not just a piece of paper. This is better than anything I could have hoped for. Well, if that's what you deem to be treasure, then please be my guest. Thank you so much, Major. I grin from ear to ear. I must go now, though. I'm late for lunch duty. I excitedly kiss Floofybutt on his furry head before dashing back to base. Oh, well, that's sweet. Yas, new unlock, SweetCon 13! Woo!
Yes, meows.
Yas! Yas!
No, please don't talk. That's so... No.
I think it's time to take a look at the message in a bottle that Floofybutt found. Floof. The ink is surprisingly well preserved. The only obstacle to my understanding of this letter is deciphering the scrawling scribble. Some words I can make out. Punished God, and presumably the signature on the bottom bill. I can make out some other words, but they appear to be badly misspelled, or possibly not even English, but some other hybrid language. Maybe colloquial? I spent an hour or two, though it feels much longer, attempting to translate each character and syllable into my notepad. I obsessively write and rewrite words until a sentence takes shape, and I am eventually left with something quite legible. Once I am satisfied that each word is correct and each sentence has meaning, I read it through from beginning to end. Oh. To whoever finds this bottled message, we have been cursed. We be judged for our sins. We wrecked on the rocks. I couldn't tell you where we be, but I think it is hell. The cats. They are everywhere, they won't forgive us. They know what we done. My guts burned for food. I had no choice. I had to eat. I regret it now. God help me, I do. Now I am cursed, and the boys are too. The cats are eating us slowly from the inside. It burns more than hunger. It burns me rotten. They stare at me all the time with their yellow eyes. They know what we have done. They are getting retribution. Justice. Good grief. God help me, I pray for death. If you find yourself in the path of the infinite island, turn back. Don't do what we done. Leave them. This is their island. I need my little new seat to know I love her. I am sorry, Petal. Bill. I read it again. And then again. But it seems the more I read it, the less it makes sense to me. I'm wondering if reading aloud might help me understand like in school. Wrecked on the rocks. So their ship crashed, and they survived. I'm not sure if they're very lucky or very unlucky. The cats won't forgive us. I had to eat. I had no choice. My skin prickles with goosebumps. Who knows what lengths anyone might go to in order to survive. I'm sure I'm capable of a lot more than I'd like to believe, sat here in the comfort of my tent, but this... Yeah, still more deserving. They're eating us from the inside. Oh yeah, it's a cat curse. They're turning into cats. Like food poisoning? The thought of that is bad enough. I've eaten a few dodgy prawns in my time. I should write the memory, but I can't help thinking he means something else. Something worse. Something you share. Surely the place Bill is talking about is here, this island. The Infinite Island? I've never heard of anyone refer to this place as the Infinite Island before. Most people call it Cat Island, or the Verloren Island, formerly. Perhaps this crew were the first humans to step foot on this place. How long have the cats been here, anyway? This letter seems to be at least 100 years old, and the cats were pretty well established then, by the sound of things. The cats in this note must be the elders. I suddenly feel another pang of sympathy for Bill and the crew. I know how frightening the elders can be. I decided not to tell Floopy about the contents of his gift. It would only add to his paranoia. I instead promised myself that I will look into this further another time. Huh. There, says Claire. There, says Claire.
That wrong,
Yes.
Dr. Seuss.
You had a lovely nap and wake up feeling revitalized. Your energy has been restored. Magic!
Magic.
And I call it magic. Call it true. Call it magic when I'm with you. Meow.
Meow.
All right. Are you looking at the Gmail?
Me?
Yeah. Was that where Claire sent it?
I don't know. Discord? I didn't see anything on Discord. I'll check the Gmail.
Okay. I know you have notifications turned on for your Gmail. Which also...
You mean yours?
Well, yes. Because you snoop. But also you sometimes help manage my comments.
Not snoop. I just happen to get them. I usually just ignore all of them and just move aside. Because usually it's just, Crink Show has started a rerun. This has started a rerun.
Oh my god, yeah. I should see if I can have Twitch not give me notifications for reruns and shit like that.
Spam, maybe? Nothing in spam? Good for you. Nothing in trash? Good for you.
I don't set anything to spam, that's the main thing.
Never mind, you're just terrible. Well, wait, you don't have anything set to spam? Because I have stuff that, like, goes to spam. Like,
well, I have stuff that goes automatically into my spam folder, obviously. But I haven't had to set anything manually to spam, which is good.
Well, I don't see it, so maybe Claire will say. Are you sure you didn't get a, like, notification in Discord DM?
Yep.
Because I was going to say I didn't, so it obviously had to have been through you, because it wasn't in the server.
Yeah, I don't know then.
Me either. Claire
Where
will
did you
tell
send the
us.
thing, Claire? Just a question. Anyway,
Claire
Floopy Bud has
said,
asked me to accompany him to the beach because he wants to share some thoughts with me. As usual, I have no idea what he may be devising. He has asked me to sit comfortably on our blanket, and is now standing in front of me with a piece of paper wedged between his front paws, endlessly clearing his throat as though he's about to make a speech or spit a hairball. It is often the case, at last, that on an auspicious occasion a speech may be required to honor the affair. Ah, speech, not hairball. Today, I felt it fitting that I deliver a brief address to mark the importance of the new moon anniversary and my first meeting the person who has changed, irrevocably, the course of my life. My dear. I love that he calls me my dear. I'm a cat of rhetoric and proud of it. My verbosity is remarked upon throughout the island, and yet, I have felt the need to scratch a few words onto this paper in case my wit and intellect should fail, under the duress of sentimentality, and I find myself unable to express adequately the dictates of my feline heart. Indulge me for a moment as I grapple with that most elusive of emotions, love. But that is a matter at hand. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. I had to say it. Anyway, loyalty, respect, allegiance, support, cooperation, and mutual trust. There is no better way to show love, whether it be for king and country, or cream puff pastry, than a proud and loud declaration of humble. Floopy Butt peeks at a scrap of paper. He holds a paper up to his good eye. Bless my handwriting! Aww. Your handwriting probably is terrible because you're a cat. Floopy Butt claws the paper to shreds. For goodness sake, Guy, what I mean to say is that I love you. Oh, there we go. And whether or not you love me is of no consequence. I am not expecting a response. I only wish you to know my feelings. I understand that yours for me may not be the same, but I request, without prejudice or expectation, that you end my limbo with a response. I love you too. Oh, Major, you of course, my feelings are the same. You have my unequivocal respect, allegiance, and love. Goodness, we're even starting to sound alike. Oh my. I wasn't expecting that. I honestly don't know what to say. Don't say anything, just come here. The large tabby launches himself into my arms, and we share a long and slightly scratchy hug. Aw. Achievement unlocked! Floopy Butt! Relationship goals, Floopy Butt! Woo! And now, research! Yes, I do believe I'm ready. Alright. This will be the last one for this character. Medical trial. Professor Popper says we'll be testing some experimental medicines today. I just hope I have the stomach for it. Oh boy. Oh boy! I arrived at the lab a little later than usual today. I got held up by the incredibly important task of petting all the cats I saw on the way in. Really crucial stuff. As I enter, I see a large, unmarked, wooden box on the table. Morning, Professor. I wasn't expecting you to be working alongside me today. I'm not, I'm afraid. I'm actually in rather a hurry, but I need to explain to you a new protocol I'd like you to carry out for me. He opens the lid of the crate, and inside are rows of small clear bottles, each containing white fluid. What's this, milk? No, these are samples from our offshore lab. Samples of what? So many questions. Curiosity is a marvelous trait for a scientist. Now, I want you to run some tests on these. I want you to check how they respond to contact with compounds 16, 18, and 24. I noticed how deftly he evaded my question. Once you've done that, provided there are no complications, I'll need you to apply the sample to some of the cats and record the results. I beg your pardon? Apply the sample to the cat's guy. We're looking for specific reactions. Of course, sir, but aren't I a little more information before I start applying an untested product to a living subject? Look, I understand your concerns. Of course I do. However, once in a while, one has to trim the red tape. And this is one of those occasions. Now, I really am in the most awful rush, my dear, but I have complete faith in you. And suddenly I'm alone. I pick up one of the samples from the box. It looks like a miniature milk bottle, but the fluid inside is creamier than milk. I retrieve the compounds from the cabinet that the professor wanted me to test and spend some time combining them with the sample. From what I can tell, these compounds are some kind of organic material, but no one has told me where they come from or what they actually are. I look at them under the microscope, one by one, and add a little bit of the sample. It's a bit like glue, so it's hard to get it to combine, but once I do, something odd happens. The dead cells that make up this compound start to move excitedly. They aren't coming back to life exactly, but they're behaving like living cells. I have no idea what the stuff is or its intended use, but I do know that I feel uncomfortable applying it to live subjects. I look at the cats in their cages. They look back at me with trusting eyes.
What?
Dead cells that start acting like living ones?
I don't want to give it to the kitties.
Refuse to administer the sample?
I don't wanna. Aw, cute. Ah, the email finally went through. I like it.
Ah, I would like to see it once we are through. Or if you would turn on your camera and point like your tablet at your laptop or whatever.
I guess in our tails
Oh,
are you looking?
I am.
Yeah.
I only see one face. Oh, that's cute.
Yes.
I love the tail heart.
Me too. I like the tail heart a lot.
Oh, that's a sweet
Oh,
touch.
Very, very nice. Thank you, Claire. I like it a lot, and Guy does too.
Yeah, that is really nice.
Yes.
Big ol' heart to you.
Big old hearts for everybody.
Yay! If the professor continues to withhold information, then I think it's only right that I put the responsibility back on him. He can carry out this procedure himself. I sent Papa a message from catalog. Professor, I feel I cannot continue in my task today until I understand the implications of what it is I'm being asked to do to the cats. I don't get a reply right away. Eventually, the catalog beeps. Popper has replied. Oh dear, that's disappointing. I'd be happy to comply if you could just give me a little more information. If you are really having such difficulty in carrying out your duties, perhaps it would be best for me to find someone who is better equipped. I'm afraid I may lose my job if I don't administer the sample. Continue to refuse or back down and administer said sample.
I mean, I don't know.
The thing is, you know how so far the cosmetics have been dangerous anti-aging cream that have actually been destructive, but now these are new samples, and all of a sudden it seems like they're reanimating dead cells?
Yeah.
But is that a good thing? Even if they're not alive, they might be absorbing nutrients and causing the death of good, normal, healthy cells.
I don't know.
Can you look it up?
There's no walkthroughs, really.
Oh.
Except how to do the dating parts.
This is the most important part of the game!
Not really, but... I mean, it's important, but that's not, you know...
This is the part of the game that the dates sort of revolve around. Like, sure, they go off on their own a lot, but... you still need to have the cure. Well, you don't need to have the cure, but still.
I guess we'll administer it.
back down and administer the sample. I suppose I have no choice. The professor will fire me if I don't do the job I was hired to do. I tried to stay professional and detached. I open one of the crates and retrieve Muffin, a slightly pumped Persian. She starts purring as soon as I touch her. She's a little older than the other cats and loves the attention. I hope this stuff doesn't harm her. I set her on the counter, get a little bit of the sample, and apply it gently to one of her legs. She seems to a bit put out, but she's still purring. That's a good sign. I wait about 20 minutes and nothing has happened. Hopefully another good sign. I apply a little more to the back of her neck this time. I feel really uncomfortable about doing this without any recommended dosage or guidelines. Flying blind goes against all of my training to date, but I have to have blind faith that the professor knows what he's doing. This is his project after all. After another 20 minutes, I don't notice anything physical, although Muffin does seem to be a little more energetic than usual. She's happily chasing my pen across the counter. I wrestle the pen out of her grip and take some notes of my observations and place her gently back in the crate. I've just set to spend the night in the lab. I don't want to leave her alone just in case anything happens, but by 4 a.m., Muffin is sleeping soundly and I can't keep my eyes open any longer, so I head back to my tent. Huh. Maybe the cream formula has finally started working. Well, good for that one cosmetic company. Their animal testing has finally paid off.
Well, now, who knows what it might do later.
True. I didn't think about that. I've come to the forest to gather my thoughts. This morning, I noticed another change in my appearance. Up until now, it's been easy to cover up my transition. I just had to keep on top of removing the excess body hair. Even the stub of a tail that appeared a few days ago has a bit of problem. Who'd see it? But this new development is definitely a turning point. How am I going to explain the fact that my pupils have turned into vertical slits? I can't risk anyone seeing me like this, so I'm going to hide out for a while and see what happens. Sometime later, I'm lazing in the midday sun when my nap is interrupted by the familiar sound of the ferry arriving at the pier. It seems that my replacement has already arrived. I stretch and roll onto my back. Okay. You have sideburns. I wonder what the professor's new assistant will be like. Hopefully they'll be a bit less naive than you were. Major wrinkles his nose, seemingly disgusted by the memory. Was I really that naive when I first arrived here? Afraid so. Really? I don't remember much about it. Oh yes, you were quite exuberant. It was really rather charming, actually. He grins at me playfully. I scoff, then roll in the sand and smile at my sweet major before closing my eyes for a midday nap. I don't regret what's happened to me, not for a second. I'm happy here with my family, my tribe. It was a struggle at first, making the decision to let it all go. Give up on the antidote and the idea of rehumanization. Falling in love was a great contributor to my decision-making, as was the fact that no one else was, I clicked space. Anyway. I suppose being a cat just kind of gets to you in the end. Now I wouldn't consider any other life. My only worries these days are deciding when to eat and which particular part of this paradise island to sleep in. So much choice. And of course, staying out of the hands of that research team. Not that that's a problem for us, we look out for one another, and we know where to hide. I slink my tail over to Fluth and hook it around his tail. Happy days. Aww. They probably make a heart with their tails. Achievement unlocked, Chapter 3. Da 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 da. Which means we get to start another character.
We don't want to start another character next week? Or next whatever?
Well, baby, you usually start the first character and then just end there.
I guess. Alright.
Brian, darling! Ugh, Brenda. Kevin, Chloe, Dorothy. Harry. Not another Chungers. I do love the name Chungers, though.
Claire, if you're still here, would you like one named after you?
Yeah.
We've already done myself and Guy, so maybe we'll
Yes.
name one Tufty, we'll name one Claire, and we name the other one Noe.
Sure.
But that's just if you want that. I don't know if you do.
Yes. We'll have to wait for a comment.
Yes. If we get a comment. They
The
might not even
kawaii
read
eyes
it.
are always so cute on all of them, though. It's just, ah. I do love a good kawaii eye.
Yes. So kawaii.
They're just like dots or exclamation points, but with dots. Big dot, little dot. Big boule,
dot,
small
little
boule.
dot. Oh, you. Sure, they said. Claire will be named. They said sure.
Oh, yay! Oh, of course. my my preview of the comments wasn't scrolling. All right. So, we shall have a Claire. Not to say that you would be a dessert. Although, some people could be a custard-filled dessert. I wonder if I would be
You
a
would
custard-filled
know.
donut or something like that. I do love custard-filled donuts.
You would be custard filled, all right.
What an excellent piping bag you have.
Yes, I know.
Anyway, what are you naming about?
Looking at Fanatical.
Oh,
What bundles they have.
I know you want to play around with whipped cream and stuff, so I thought you were going, to the idea of piping bags.
I mean, yes, I do enjoy a good whipped cream.
Do you like creme?
Whipped cream.
Tracy
How about
Martell is so quotable. Of
To
course, it's
you.
actually. Well, it's really in general. Do you like creme?
Ah, Jesus.
Katya is more quotable though.
You are such a.
Dr. Bitchcraft. Of course, I can't be that loud because my mother will just complain, but you know. Anyways, what an amazing journey! I've always enjoyed being out on the open waters, and this was really smooth sailing. I almost skip off the wooden jetty to be greeted by a burly man in a security jacket. ID. I rummage about in my bag until I find the laminated security pass that was issued on the mainland. Claire, smiley. Meow.
Well, I gotta go. I'll be back. Okie dokie, Claire.
Okay. Come on then, Skipper, follow me. Luckily, this guy isn't the sociable type, so I can take in the sights without distraction while we whiz through the forest path. It all looks so lush and green. The boss isn't there. Oh boy. Popper still continues to have a very messy tent.
Glad to have you on board, Claire. Shall we just go through a few formalities and then call it a day? That way you can get some rest before you start work properly tomorrow.
Sounds good to me, sir.
So first, shall we have a little refreshment? I have water, coffee, or something stronger perhaps? Gin?
I'm just gonna... No. Nothing for me, thanks. I'm not thirsty.
Like,
I was about to say, oh, what would Claire ask for? But I don't know. So I'm just gonna say, for now, you're not thirsty. You had something on the ship, maybe. Nothing for me, thanks. I'm not thirsty. You'd be wise to keep hydrated, but that's none of my business. I'm not your dad. Okay. The rest of the day is taken up with procedural stuff, Professor Popper showing me around the island personally. It was quite nice to get to know him a little bit. He's rather eccentric, but in a nice way. The thing that stands out most is my catalog. This technology is something else. I used it to scan some cats, but I can do so much more than that. The professor was most insistent that I keep it safe, which I intend to. Saving! As I'm settling into my tent, I make a discovery that really catches my attention. It's a notebook that was obviously written by my predecessor. They've left it under my bed, which is as good as an invitation to read it as far as I'm concerned. I think it may be the first draft of a novel, and it's not bad either. They certainly have a vivid imagination. There are bizarre stories about talking cats and other island anomalies. They were obviously very inspired by their surroundings. Imagine if it were true. It's a great read. Oh boy. I wonder, is this journal the same one that Chungers originally had? And then it's just been iterated through?
Pretty much. Each new person has been...
Huh. I laugh at my little fantasy as I snuggle down for my first sleep on Cat Island. So far, 3 people have had that journal. Now Claire. I wonder if Claire will meet Chungers and learn, oh, that was my journal. It's still being used? That would be an interesting talk. Sometime in the middle of the night, I'm woken up by an intruder in my tent. Before my brain can catch up with what's going on, I've leaped from my bed shouting, who's there? I scramble around for a few seconds before I realize that the notebook has been taken. The next thing I know, I'm running through the forest, barefoot, chasing what looks like a cat. This is insane! A wave of nausea rises up in me, and I realize that I've become perilously close to the danger zone. Remembering the warnings in the notebook, I try to turn back, but my legs give way under me. I close my eyes tight as I hit the ground. I open my eyes. A calico cat is standing in front of me. It drops the notebook from its mouth. Trixie! I pass out. Oh boy. I'm laying on the sand, surrounded by cats looking down at me.
Yeah! Caught us a live one!
Move back, child. Yes, let them breathe or they won't be alive much longer. As my brain begins to defuzz, I realize that this is what I was reading about in the novel. Only it wasn't a novel at all. My stomach tightens to a knot. It was actually a journal. I focus my eyes and pick out the big marmalade cat. Have I been bitten? Well, of course you've been bitten. How else would you be able to hear us?
This one's an idiot!
Don't be rude. The calico cat turns to me. You know about being bitten? You read the journal? Most of it? Enough to understand what's happening there, Kara? Enough to know you have a choice to make? I look from the cats to my scratched and bitten arms and back again. Help the kitties? Enough to know there is no choice. We have to help each other. Bravo, Kara! So let's cut to the chase. We've already done the chase bit. Okay, Kibbles. You've grown on me just a little bit with that one line. I forget about Kibbles a lot of the time because we don't really interact with him much. Hush now. What do you need to know, human? I'm still a bit dazed and in shock. Everything, really? At that moment, my catalog starts beeping. It's telling me I have 15 minutes to get back to camp and start my first day at work. Oh, I have to go. Let me get myself together and we can catch up later. I have a feeling you're going to do very well, Kara. The best one yet. I'm just about to enter the lab to begin my legitimate work when the catalog beeps. It's a message without any contact information. What? I don't even... No, I've had just about enough mystery as a person can handle for one day. If you want to be anonymous, I shall take it you also don't mind being ignored. Good God, the static, the anonymous. The professor is already working when I arrive, but I'm not late, so there's no fuss. I get through the day as efficiently as possible and head back to my tent as soon as my work is done. I want to get to grips with finding out all I can. Well, damn. So, what is the romance unlock at this point? There's Trixie and Kibbles!
Well, we're trying to do all the gay stuff, so it looks like it'll be Trixie. But also, I feel like unless you want to do one more, I feel like we'll be done.
Yes.
Or so, I don't care.
You know what I just thought? I wonder, if we get Trixie romanced, will she stop being the one to carry away the journal?
I don't think so.
Oh. Of course, though, it's always Trixie doing the dirty work. Anyway, what's the recon unlock look like? Self-analysis. I've got to focus on finding an antidote. It's time to run some tests on myself and get things moving faster. I'm running out of time. We are getting more and more complete on this. Might as well start some actual work on the antidote, as far as we know. I've been devoting all the time I can spare to working on an antidote for the catification process. Although it's not an entire failure, the progress is slow, and I'm concerned that I may be running out of time. It's time I did some tests on myself to record how the virus is progressing in me, and what effects it's having on my body. That should give me some idea of how much time I have left, before it becomes too difficult to hide the problem from other people. I'm sneaking around in the middle of the night because I can't risk getting found out by Professor Popper, or the Marigolds. Gosh, I always forget about the fact that they exist. They're almost never, spoken of. The only person likely to check up on what I'm doing at this hour is Zane, the security guard, and I'm confident he wouldn't have a clue what any of this stuff means. I start by taking my own blood. Never an easy thing, but trying to find a vein when you're also trying not to look is very tricky indeed. It takes several missed stabs before I get it right, and I take as much as I dare without making myself feel woozy. Ugh. I take saliva swabs from the inside of my mouth, inside my nostrils, and my ears, and finally from my groin area. I seal each swab in its tube and label them 007. Corny, I know, but it makes me smile. Of course, the original Anonymous, Queen Elizabeth, I think. I'm also pretty certain no one will pay much attention to the numbers. Everything is numbered around here, so you tend to go blind to any number that isn't the particular one you're looking for. Next, I tweeze out individual hairs from my head, eyebrows, arms, legs, and groin. Each hair is prepared and placed into a microscope slide. Finally, I take clippings from my finger and toenails. Some I prepare onto slides, some I put into test tubes for testing reactivity to various agents. I'm quite sleepy by the time I prepared all my specimens, and I'm starting to think maybe I should freeze this lot and call it a night. When I hear something moving around outside, I go and poke my head out, but it's too dark to see anything. Hello? Nothing. Somebody there? Do you want something? This place can be very creepy sometimes. The little diversion has made me feel much more alert, and with my second wind, I decide to press on my testing. I work steadily for the next hour and a half before I draw any conclusions. The short-term test results indicate that not much has changed from the last time I did this. Clearly, I am not progressing very fast, which is a big relief. However, I can see some marked changes from before. Mostly these are based on the rate of cell growth and movement within the nail clippings and hair samples. Everything is growing much more quickly. I'm a little disappointed not to have seen anything more informative, but I remind myself to be careful what I wish for. I place a long-term test on at the back of the specimen fridge and will check up on them in 24 hours. There's not much else I can do now. I clear away all the equipment I have used and leave the place in exactly the condition I found it. Even Miss Marigold wouldn't suspect I'd been here. I'm just heading to my tent when I hear a noise coming from behind me, from inside the lab. I walk back and call from outside. Who's in there? Silence. Have security with me? I hear how ridiculous this sounds and curse myself for being idiotic. I walk into the lab, put the main light on, and I'm stunned to see the tests I put in the fridge out on the lab table. I have no idea what to do, so I just put them back in the fridge. But this time I use the padlock on the fridge door. Nobody ever bothers with it. I've often wondered why it's even there. I don't want someone getting at my blood samples. I'm too freaked out to think straight now. I need to get back to bed. I turn towards my tent, and there is the huge dark outline of a man in my path. It's Zane. Evening. Evening. Working? Yep. Doing security? Yep. Good night, then. Good night. And as he turns to walk away, I catch him say, almost in a whisper, There's a monthly stock tick of this fridge tomorrow morning. I try to ask what he means, but he's already gone. I realize I've been being given a helping hand, so I go back to the fridge and get my samples. I'll take them to my tent, and if I can't grab some ice from the mess kitchen, and see if I can't grab some ice from the mess kitchen on the way. Huh. Zane's the quiet but observant type, isn't he? He's noticed things, hasn't he?
He always notices.
Not a talker, but a watcher. I can respect that. I am usually that type of person.
Nah. So that should do it for us.
Mm-hmm. What was the recon we unlocked?
12, I think.
9. Today the marigolds are cleaning out the lab's inventory. I should probably be there too. I might find something useful. Ah. And then what are the current researches that we have open? Ooh. Today it's off to the beach to tag some cats. Time to check on Muffin. I hope she's okay after those tests. Ah. Of course, Muffin isn't the one that Claire was taking care of originally, but, you know. Probably would know after my tests. Jeez, it's weird. Seems like the professor is adding DIY to my list of duties. I've been asked to help the caretakers today. Alright, we would finally have something interesting to say about the marigolds. Maybe.
No.
Who knows? Only time. Anyways, thank you so much for listening and watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more. Check out my channel and Andrew's channels for more of what we do. We stream every Thursday here on this channel together, 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time for about 2 hours. And I just go alone on Sundays. Please, please tune into my Sunday stream so I'm not alone. I do it at 6 p.m. U.S. Central Time. Whew. But again, please tune in so I'm not alone. And also, what?
Don't tune in. Let him be alone.
No. Please, please don't make me be alone. I don't want to be alone.
Oh, you'll never be alone as long as I'm here.
But you're not there on Sundays.
No, but I'm in your heart.
Aww, yes.
I'm bored.
Yawn.
Finish this up so you can go eat and we can, you know.
I don't think I will be eating. I already had a cinnamon roll. One of the cinnamon rolls I made.
Oh my goodness, shocking. Yes, I could just call you. How nice.
I will have to brush my teeth and stuff first, but yes.
Alright, well, Thank you all so much for.
Babe, I can't hear anything. What are you doing? Baby?
What?
Oh, it cut off for a bit.
Yeah, well, like, subscribe, share, blah, blah, blah. Goodbye, everybody.
Alright, thank you all so much for watching all this time. This is Guy Smith and Andrew B.
Some person named Andrew B, I think.
Yeah. Signing off until next time. Take care. See you guys. Aww, Claire, right when you got back. Aww. Your character also hasn't been infected with the cat disease. No.
As they all have. Well, don't worry, Claire. We'll be exploring whatever else you do next time. Next time. Next
2
time?
weeks from now.
Yeah.
Next week we do Ace Attorney, but 2 weeks from now we'll be going over more cat stuff. Woo!
But check it out. We're doing Ace Attorney too.
Woo!
Alright. Goodbye, Claire. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah. Bye. Have a good evening, night, whatever. Bye.
Night.